Hello everyone and welcome back guys to another episode of my Gran Turismo Road to Rank S, where today we're here with actually two races in the Lamborghini Huracan GT4 at the Nürburgring. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have got one more video with this car as well. I can only apologise, but the racing so far, you know, considering I've just got back into Gran Turismo, has actually been fantastic in these cars. So there is, yeah, quite a few videos coming from this combination. This one will actually be two races combined into one. The first one is sort of just a short little one that sort of explains something, and then the second one is one of the sort of weirdest battles I think I've had so far on GT Sport. So as you can see, currently sat on pole position, ready for this race. Still in obviously it's driver rating and a sportsmanship rating. I've actually got that wrong a couple of times so far. It basically means the same thing as safety rating, but yeah, obviously it's just about trying to keep it clean on the whole. So with D and A as we move into this episode, and obviously hoping we can try and get those further and further up, obviously, because that is the aim of Road to Rank S, obviously. And as we come now out of the final corner, ready to start this race, accidentally flicking through the camera views there, and hopefully obviously looking to try and take a quite comfortable race victory. You know, I think we were poled by a good sort of half a second on the whole, and obviously the most important thing is getting a good run in towards turn one. And I must say, the Lamborghini actually from the initial launch, I honestly do feel is running one of the strongest cars. There's very few cars that I found that actually out-dragged me off the start, but I think the Polish guy is going to try and have a look around the outside there. A German guy sends it completely down the inside, and well, that doesn't work out all too well for him. And luckily he actually avoided me there. It would have been a little bit worse had he taken me out. You know, perhaps we would have had to do a little bit of a comeback drive there, but obviously kept the lead through the first couple of corners there. That is exactly what you want to do in these races. Now obviously it's just a case of trying to make sure that we keep it clean, build up a little bit of a gap to the Polish guy, Martin Turbo, I think his name is. That's a pretty cool gamer tag in my personal opinion, but obviously hoping that he has a very small turbo, and obviously that we can try and pull away over the course of this race as we come out through the chicane down towards the hairpin at this Nürburgring circuit. And I must say, this probably version of the Nürburgring, you know, obviously every game, you know, is a very similar version, but the way the sort of the curbs work on this one, obviously I think that's down to Gran Turismo as well. It's probably in these cars as well one of my favourite layouts of the Nürburgring. You know, I always enjoy Nordschleife, but I've never really been a fan of the GP circuit until racing it on this game. But as you can see, nothing really happened with that race. Unfortunately, the Polish guy was probably my one sort of semi-competitive rival in this race. Unfortunately, I think he disconnected quite early on, which means as we come through the final corner, well, it's going to be a fairly comfortable victory in the end. As you can see, there's my pace on the right-hand side there. Pretty consistent on the whole, you know, obviously as the tyres start to go off, you do lack a bit of pace. But yeah, we were able to dominate that race on the whole. I think by the end we won by nearly half a minute, if I'm not mistaken, which, you know, obviously if you guys saw the last episode, you'll know that I was actually able to win that race, I think, by near enough 20 seconds as well. So, you know, starting to, you know, get into a bit of confidence on this game. You know, really enjoying Gran Turismo Sport still. I'm going to try and get, you know, consistent videos from this. They'll probably be going up Monday and Thursdays from this series, you know, just so I can get 2 videos out a week and, you know, really try and grind my way up the order there. And as you can see, we actually, yeah, were able to win that race by 29 seconds, which was quite comfortable. Not a single penalty either, obviously, over the course of the race. We're going to get that double XP, obviously double credits, double XP, which is obviously really ideal as well. You know, really want to try and focus on that, try and get my sportsmanship rating up to S as well. I think it's actually a lot easier to get your sportsmanship rating up to rank S over your driver rating, because obviously it's very easy to be clean, it's not so easy to be quick on this game. You can see achievement clean races level 1 completed as well, so we were able to get that. But yeah, victory in the daily race C once again. They're really happy with how that race went. On the whole, that's 3 wins now on this game, a new consecutive record of 2 clean races as well. Unfortunately, I think that was the last race that I did obviously put on the channel as well. Obviously, I don't put every single race on because, well, you never know what race you're going to get until obviously you finish it, really. But yeah, there we are, 160,000 credits, 720 mileage points, and then 1,500 XP means I do actually rank up as well to level 24 on this game as well, which obviously I'm very happy with as well. But most importantly, as you can tell by the top right hand side of your screens, this was actually the race that I was able to get my C license, so very happy with that result. And let's move on then into sort of the much more important race from this video, obviously. Happy with my C license there. So that means we're going to get a lot more competitive racing. You can see we're not actually on pole for this one. A 2 minute 5.8 now is my PB, but we're going up against I think it's Hungarian guy, with a 2 minute 5.5. So that is certainly going to be very, very tough here. But as I said, this was quite a weird race. As you can tell by the fact we've still got 14 minutes of this video to go. It was certainly quite an intense one on the whole. This guy obviously driving in the Mitsubishi, which is obviously, I think, one of the stronger cars than the Lambo on the whole. As you can see, we've actually been able to get my sportsmanship rating up to S by now as well, but the race to do that was fairly nothing as well. So obviously the aim, I'd love to be able to try and win this race. I think I'm still on win streak coming into this one as well, so obviously the aim is to beat the Hungarian in this race, but he is a bit quicker than me. I think he does have a slightly stronger car as well, and I obviously imagine he's more experienced if he's a B license as well. So obviously it'll be quite a tough test in this race, but it's 5 lights. Well, I say 5 lights, it's the countdown over and away we go. We do actually get a very, very good start there, all over the back of the Mitsubishi there. He's going to try and break the toe on the run towards T1. They're weaving around this way and that on the run towards T1. Their brakes a little bit later than myself. We're going to see a Renault diving up the inside that just about slotting behind him. Luckily, not too much contact for myself. A few rash dive bombs coming behind. Obviously, the hairpin nature of this circuit does unfortunately mean that crashes at T1 are quite common there, but unfortunately we have dropped 1 place off the launch there. We've got one guy trying to have a sniff up my inside there, but we're trying to not give him the run through there. We're going to try and maximise our run out of the next corner there, just through the Hungarian up the road. Does run a little bit wide there, but we do hold on to P3 for now there. So it hasn't been the best start to this race, but obviously 9 laps around the Nürburgring circuit, obviously. Certainly not a particularly short race either, as we come out of the chicane there, down the long run towards the hairpin here, and it's actually been a very, very good run out of that corner. One corner I was consistently able to get very, very good runs out of, and now we're going to have a look at the inside of the Renault Mclaren, retake my 2nd place in this race, obviously able to keep it nice and pinned on the apex there. I thought he was going to try and go for a bit of an undercut with the front wheel drive system in that Renault, so obviously able to keep it pinned on the apex obviously really, really stops him from being able to do that. And now we're obviously back up to P2 of this race here and trying to close back up to the rear of the Hungarian here. Sort of see what his pace is like, see where he's pulling away from me, where I'm closing in a little bit of time here, because although raw pace in qualifying doesn't mean everything in these races. It's about consistency, it's about keeping it clean as well, which is obviously a very, very important factor to racing, which is obviously something that Gran Turismo really, really promotes really quite well on the whole, which is obviously good to see as well. We're breaking down in towards the final chicane. They're taking a lot of curb through the first part. They're avoiding it on the second. Don't really want to try and pick myself up a penalty there as we come through the final corner to end at lap 1 of this race. And well, the Hungarian has got quite a little bit of a victory on himself here, skipping on towards the end of lap 3. And this is where things start to get a little bit strange, breaking down in towards the final chicane there, and you can see that's a humongous slice there. I'm not too sure if that was lag from him, but he does actually pick up a penalty there, which is obviously really, really good to see. The Gran Turismo, it doesn't allow you to be cutting those chicanes, and that was really something that I was going to make sure I watched out for from this guy now, because now I know, if he's cutting these chicanes, not only does he have a penalty, but he's also starting to feel a little bit less confident. And I think that will sort of be the story of this video. Cheats never prosper on the whole there, but breaking down in towards turn 1 there, so we really know now is the time to up the pressure. You can see he's taking a really, really shallow line down in towards turn 2 there, really trying to push the track to its limits there, run massively wide through the exit of turn 3. I'm sure that'll be another time penalty picked up as well here. So, and running wide through turn 4, so he's really not having a good time for it at the moment. He is cracking under the pressure already, almost loses out of the first complex of corners there, and now we are all over the back of him here. So we really, really know now, although we don't have this track position, he is absolutely in our power at this stage of the race there, breaking down in through this chicane there. And well, this guy, now, we just need to play, and this is probably one of, in my opinion, the best positions to be in a race. Is, the guy behind, but the guy in front is cracking tremendously under the pressure there, breaking down in towards the hairpin, really just trying to fill up his mirrors in any possible way we can, getting a fairly decent run on the exit as well. That Mitsubishi, though, is absolutely phenomenal out of the low-speed corners, though, and coming out through the Schumacher S there, all over the back of me, just making sure, once again, that we're filling up his mirrors either side, so if he is looking behind him, He knows that we're all over the back of him there, braking nice and tidily. No, we're not going to try and run into the back of him though, as we come through this next S section. They get a tremendous line through that corner there onto the exit of the corner. We're going to get a much better runner than him. Even though he dips a wheel on the grass, they were going to try and look up the inside, but he shuts the door on that very, very aggressively. Very, very late. I wasn't a fan of that, so we're going to have a sniff up the inside, breaking down in towards the chicane then. Well, he's just going to chop over the front of me there. I wasn't too happy with that. Cut the chicane just ever so slightly again there. I can't imagine that is going to be another penalty for him there, but I wasn't really happy too much with that. He cut over the front end of my car though, which is really not the best thing to be doing in racing, especially against one of your rivals. Obviously this just means I am hungrier and hungrier there. So we've actually got the fastest lap of this Grand Prix as well. So he might have had one phenomenal lap on this game, which guarantees him plenty of pole positions, but it certainly doesn't mean he's consistently very, very quick there, making another mistake through turn 1, running wide, and then obviously costing himself that very shallow line coming through turn 2 there. So we are just still absolutely piling on the pressure here, breaking down in towards this next corner. They're not being able to just get it caught on to the apex there, but we do take an alright run out of the next corner. We can see now he's actually been able to build himself up about another second gap to me there, so he's certainly actually on raw pace. Is just that little bit quick. The lines he's able to take through some of those corners is just that little bit more confidence than myself here. Not always does that mean you can win, and obviously this is one of the things that you can really try and gain yourself that advantage, is the psychological warfare. You can really capitalise on these guys. If they're making mistakes, as long as you can keep fairly close, you can see once again he's making a little bit of a mistake down in towards the hairpin there, dips a wheel on the gravel on the way out there, and that is once again another mistake from the Hungarian just ahead of me there, and this is absolutely fantastic for myself, because we weren't even really piling on the pressure at that stage of the race. But that's really brought me back into his, well, he's back into my clutches here as we break down in towards the second S here, very close to the back of the lane. You see the fuel warning has just flickered up as well, but now as you can see on the exit of the corner, are we going to be able to get a better run? Not particularly there. We have to bail out the throttle ever so slightly as we come down on towards this back straight. The slipstream is still very strong on Gran Turismo though, so we are going to be able to close up to him as we think about going for a move up the inside. Obviously there was never really any temptation to go for that dive, but once again that's another slice of the chicane. They're not really too happy with this guy's driving style there. He's going to dive into the pits on the end of this lap, but we're going to really try and gamble it here. We've got one lap of spare fuel as we come out. Well, it's ticked down to 0.9 here, so this is going to be really close whether we're going to be able to actually take this car for the entirety of this next lap, and also obviously if we're going to be able to capitalise on this. Really hoping that a lot of guys stay out for one more lap. Hopefully this guy ends up in some traffic here, but it doesn't look like it if you look at the mini-map and the driver rankings, that pretty much everyone has opted to pit on the end of that lap there, which has really not helped me out, because we'll be on absolutely shredded tyres here. The tyres really do slow you down absolutely massively when they really start to get quite worn. So the undercut very strong on Gran Turismo, because he's actually just been able to come out ahead of a slower car there, which is really unfortunate for me. So it doesn't look like he's going to get caught up in too much traffic here. So this is going to have to entirely come from us if we want to try and make this overcut working our way through the S section though. And so far, it hasn't been a particularly quick lap, but it has been a fairly clean one on the whole. But obviously the other question is about the fuel as well, breaking it down in towards the hairpin there, and just absolutely zero grip as we try and break it down. The ABS having to kick in absolutely massively there just meant that we weren't able to try and get the car slowed down as much as we wanted to there. And as we come through the Schumacher, barely able to take it flat out there, running very close to the gravel on both the exit of the corner there, which is certainly not ideal. But the fuel, just look at that fuel dropping down absolutely tremendously at the moment. It's not looking particularly good as we come through this second S section. We haven't got much fuel left in this car. We've still got probably one of the most fuel intensive parts of this circuit to go, a big long acceleration zone. But as we come down through this long back straight here, are we going to have enough? It's so close, down to 0.01, breaking us late as we dare. Going to try and carry as much momentum through the final chicane as we possibly can. The fuel now has dipped to 0.0 laps as we just get in to the pit lane there. We're going to trundle it through this hairpin through the pit lane there, and we do just about survived there. That was certainly one of the closest moments I've had on this game so far. You know, that's certainly got the heart rate up just a little bit there. And as we break down in for our pit stop here, you know, get the tyres on the car, then obviously we won't have so much fuel that needs to get put into the car. Obviously we don't have as much time left in this race. The other guys actually dived into the pit lane as well. They're making sure we came, you know, just a tiny bit more fuel than we need. But unfortunately, there goes the Mitsubishi there. He's going to be able to hold on to the race lead here. And it's looking like we are obviously going to be comfortably out in P2 there. But that means he's got quite an advantage over myself there. So he's been able to pull out, you know, a good 2.5 seconds on that outlap there, which really does go to show how much the undercut can work on this game there, which is going to be really tough to try and close that gap back in. But he does still have his penalties here, and this is one of the other really key things that we have to look at as we take a huge amount of curb out of the first complex there. We don't know how many penalties this guy has, which is obviously really important here as we come towards the midway stage of the final lap of this race. It's still looking like he's just not trying to get rid of those penalties there. We've been able to take a good half a second out of him over these last couple of laps, but obviously on raw pace alone it is not going to be enough. You know, he's started to feel a little less pressure on him there. I was able to up the pace, which is obviously really crucial for him there. But as we come through in towards this final S section, though, it looks like this Mitsubishi driver is, well, it's going to entirely depend on the penalties here as we come through this S section, trying to maximise my run on the exit of the corner. Yeah, you use all the curb, getting as close as we possibly dare to the gravel on the outside. We have actually set once again the fastest lap of this Grand Prix at 2 minutes 6.458 is a very good lap, breaking as late as we dare in towards the final chicane. He is going to slice it once more. They're just building up even more of those penalties, so it looks like he is throwing caution to the wind. But through in towards the final corner, though, he is going to come through for the race victory on track. Some interesting driving lines, but how many penalties is he going to have up towards the line we come? What's it going to be? It's the race victory there. Really happy with that result in the end. As you can see, celebrating with the webcam as well there. 4 seconds worth of penalties for the Hungarian there. So as I said, cheaters never prosper on Gran Turismo there. Very different story to Forza Motorsport. You know, we kept it clean throughout. We kept it between the white lines as best as we could there. And after very aggressive driving from him as well in a couple of instances there, unfortunately for him, he has cracked under the pressure, picked himself up. Just, well, I say 1 second too many penalties, 2 seconds too much of penalties there. That has really worked out nicely for myself there. Really, you know, that was a race I really had to work for in the end. The sweatiest race I've had so far on Gran Turismo. Absolutely tense. Fastest lap, you know, I think was the fastest lap I've set so far on this game in terms of actual race pace there. One of the quickest races I think I've ever had as well. So obviously really happy with that race result. And obviously nice, you know, the fact that obviously he was playing some interesting tactics at the halfway stage of the race. Obviously really wanted to try and make sure that he wasn't able to use that to his advantage by the end. And obviously you might be very quick, but it doesn't always mean that it does work in the end. My 5th win on Gran Turismo Sport, though, obviously able to come from P2 to P1. 2 clean races in a row as well, though, which obviously I was really happy with. And that does obviously mean another 160,000 credits, another 1,500 XP there. And, well, we're still ranked C. We have obviously upped our sportsmanship rating once again there. Obviously, we're already into S, which is obviously really good. He did actually set the fastest lap of the racer as well on the final lap, but he did cut the final chicane, so I'm not too sure if there is a little bit of lenience to it there. But, you know, we're already ranked C. That was a very good race from myself. Obviously able to beat a B-class driver. We should be very close to rank B. And yes, we are so close to getting my B driver rating there. Obviously got the S sportsmanship rating. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Obviously another very long one on Gran Turismo. So close to trying to get up to my B license. Obviously, hopefully that should happen in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new to any of my channels. Check out my Formula 1 channel as well. Hopefully I will see you guys next time, where the aim is to try to get to B as well. We also hit rank 26 there, so we've gone up 2 levels in one video. But as I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed.